Today we're taking a look at the EVO XF 30 models from PSE for 2022. Welcome back to Mike's Archery's YouTube, and today we are taking a look at the 2022 lineup of the EVO XF 30 from PSE. Now this bow comes in 3 separate cam options, so rather than taking 3 different videos and breaking these things down, we decided to put them all into one video, give you all the specs between all the different 3 cam options of this model at the same time. So let's get into the specs on these bows. Depending on which cam you choose to go with, starting in order as we go through these from the Evolve Cam to the new E2 Cam to the S2 Cam. The speed ratings from PSE on these bows with the Evolve Cam is going to be 340 to 332 feet per second. If you choose to go with an E2 Cam, it's going to be a little bit faster IBO speeds at 345 to 337. And then if you need that short draw model, they did all the IBO speeds on that one at 29-inch draw length. That's going to be 335 to 327. So depending on where you need to be on your draw length, these bows will give you those options. And with those cams, the Evolve Cam is going to go from 25 all the way out to 30.5, while the E2 Cam gives a little less on the low end at 27.5, but gives you more on the top end for a longer draw at 31.5, while if you need a short draw option, the S2 Cam is where you're going to want to be, and it's going to top out at 29, but the bottom end is going to be 25 inches, and will give you more efficiency through those draw cycles on that S2 Cam if you got a short draw. As you look at these 3 models, depending on what cam you choose, the axle to axle does not change. It's going to be 29 5/8 axle to axle regardless of what cam option you choose. However, that is going to change the brace height as well as the overall cam length because of the design changes of those cams. The overall cam length on an Evolve Cam is 35 5/8, while if you go to the E2 Cam, it is just a little longer at a full 36 inches from cam to cam, and it is a little bit shorter with that S2 Cam at 35 1/8 inches on the overall cam length. Now the brace height, as it changes throughout those cam options, you've got 6 7/8 brace height on the Evolve Cam, and the E2 Cam goes down to a 6 3/4, while the S2 Cam will be your shortest brace height at 6.5 inches. Overall, it's got just a little bit of change because of the cam designs. Now, the factory spec weight on these bows is 4.3, and that's regardless of what cam you choose. And as we took them out of the box and we weighed them, they did all weigh the same at 4.6 out of the box. And as we took the dampeners and the grip and things off to get it back down to a stripped bow weight, we came in at 4.4, so really close to what the advertised weight is, just coming in 1/10 of a pound over. Now you do have a little bit of draw weight adjustment difference in these cams. If you choose the E2 or the Evolve Cam, you can only order this bow in a lower weight of 60 pound and take it all the way to an 80 pound option. But if you do the S2 model, you have the ability to order that in a 50 pound max all the way out to an 80 pound. So you can get an 80 pound top end on any of these bows, but if you are needing that shorter draw or lighter weight, maybe for a woman, or you just don't want to shoot the extra weight, you're going to want to see that S2 Cam to drop it down to a 40-50 max. Now the let off throughout all the cam options is still adjustable from 80 to 90%, and that's still using that same Evolve style adjustment, just moving that peg that's attached to the rotating mod. Now, some of the things that they've changed on these models different on the XF versus the EVL from last year. They went to a longer limb on these bows. And what that did was allowed them to get similar speeds, if not better speeds, with a longer brace height. For you, the shooter, that means it's going to be a more forgiving platform, but still keeping the higher speeds of what you'd seen in the past. They changed the limb pockets to the new limb vice lock pocket, giving it a more stable platform there and locking everything into place on those limb pockets. The other thing that we did like to see that we thought had been somewhat of an issue with PSE is their cable guard. So they've changed it to the new guard lock cable guard, and that is a locking cable guard that mounts directly to the outside of the riser and then has a dovetail fitting that's going to allow you to adjust that cable rod in or out to take the torque out of the cables if needed, but it's going to lock it down into place and you don't have to worry about that bolt coming loose and rotating your cable rod and bringing your cables into the path of your arrow. So that was a nice upgrade and some issues that we had seen in the past, and we were glad to see PSE address that and change it. From there, they kept the integrate rest mount, and they also kept your double rest mount holes as they have in the past. If you choose to go with a conventional rest, you're going to be able to lock those down, and we like to see that. If you choose the integrate option from QAD or some of the other models that have come out on the market for this year, you're going to be able to integrate with that dovetail slide on the back of their riser. They also kept with their dual stabilizer holes. You've got your standard original stabilizer hole like on traditional bows, but as in the last couple years, they've kept that lower stabilizer hole, allowing you to get the weight lower on the riser and closer to that lower limb pocket to give you a better balance, a better feel, and take the vibration out of this bow. They also kept with the rear mounting stabilizer hole, so you can add weights to the back of this riser as well if you need to weight this up and balance it in any way that you see fit. The other thing that they kept from the last several years is their multiple sight mounting holes. You're still going to have 3 options there to be able to move your sight up or down if you need to gain in that sight picture, depending on your draw length and setup of sight. They kept that rubber grip that they've had the last couple of years, and you can leave that on there if you like a fuller rubber grip, or if you want to take that off and get a thinner grip down to more of a target style, you can take that right off of there with just a couple of Allen screws and go back to that thinner grip that's going to sit in your hand, more of a target feel, and take some more torque out of that riser. They kept the precision bus tuning on this model, which is going to allow you to adjust this bow when you're paper tuning or doing any other type of tuning to make those adjustments easily and quickly with twists there in those cables. They also kept with the single string stop on the bottom, taking plenty of vibration and shock out of this bow. And they also kept with that integrated sling option that they've had for the last few years, mounting into those limb pockets. You can pick up that custom PSE sling to fit on any of their models. Now, PSE kept with the same color palette except for one change for this year. In the solid colors, they still have the black and tan, but they added a new charcoal, and it's going to look a little different than the past charcoals that you've seen from a couple years ago. It's a little different color hue, but it's a great looking charcoal finish. Then they've kept with 5 camo colors in the Mossy Oak Country, the QU Verde, a First Light Fusion, as well as the Subalpine and Elevated 2 camo options. So you're going to be able to customize these bows to any look that you have and match any color palette that you want to go with. Now, the map retail on these bows is coming in at $11.99, and that's right there what we're seeing with most everybody's flagship price point bows. So now we're going to step over to the range, and we're going to go through all 3 of these bows, shooting them at 29-inch draw with 70 pounds on 90% let off, and then giving you the range of speeds from 350 grain all the way out to a 500 grain arrow. So we've stepped over here to the range, and we're going to shoot through all 3 of these bows on the EVO XF 30, and we're going to start with the Evolve Cam. Now we're going to be shooting this bow with our normal specs and giving you the speed ratings for all the way from 350 grains out to a 500 grain arrow, as well as the noise ratings. So let's start with the Evolve Cam at 70 pound, 90% let off, and a 400 grain arrow to get our base here. All right, so with the 400 grain arrow, we're getting 306 with the Evolve Cam. And to give you the breakdown where that's at, so with a 350 grain arrow, as we were shooting these over the Chrono, we got 320. And then you saw the 306 now with the 400 grain arrow, then a 450 grain arrow, we got 289. And with a 500 grain arrow, we got 278. Now, from there, as far as the noise rating on the Evolve Cam, that one's going to be coming in at 95.2. Pretty quiet bows from PSE here, and that Evolve Cam has always been a great feeling cam. So no change there with that feel on the Evolve Cam. Very smooth coming through the draw curve and the rollover and dropping into the back wall. Always solid, as it has been for several years now. We have enjoyed that Evolve Cam system. The grip with that rubber grip on this new XF model feels really good if you like that little beefed up feel in your hand. Also that nice rubber coat to keep it warm in your hand. It's going to be a nice touch. And then if you like that thinner grip, pull that off there. You're going to be able to get a torque-free, really thin target style grip in this model. And it just sits really well in your hand, balances very good. Back wall is solid, as we said. And of course the aftershot on this bow is very dead in the hand. It's just an overall great package. Nothing that we didn't expect with the Evolve Cam out of this model. From there, let's move over to the E2 Cam and see what we get out of that one. All right, so switching it up here, we've grabbed the XF30 with that E2 Cam. This is the new redesigned cam. It's going to hold the draw curve and the draw weight about 2 inches longer through the draw curve is the design on this, so they're picking up some speeds out of it. So we expect this one to shoot quite a bit faster than the original Evolve Cam. Again, still shooting on 70 pounds, 90% let off, and 29-inch draw. So speeds on that one with a 400 grain arrow, we're getting 312 feet per second. So coming in a little bit faster than the Evolve Cam, which is exactly what it was designed to do, exactly what we expected. Now, if you drop that out to a 350 grain arrow, we got 332 out of it. And the 450 grain arrow, we got 297. And with a 500 grain arrow, we got 280 feet per second out of this E2 Cam. Now, on the decibel readings on that model, what we got out of that one's 95.8. So just a little bit louder than the Evolve Cam, but that's to be expected. You're getting more speed out of the bow, but not a lot louder than the other ones. Now, as far as the draw cycle on that cam, it is harsher than the Evolve Cam, and we expected that just from the look of the design of the cam. It was designed to hold that peak weight longer, so you're going to feel that through that draw cycle. So if you're expecting this to feel like your old Evolve Cam, it does not. It's just got a little harsher draw curve coming over the top. You're going to feel that holding weight coming through that draw curve, and then it's going to drop off a little harder into that back wall. Still sits really solid. Got the same adjustable mod system there to be able to adjust that let off, and it doesn't drop off deep into that valley when you do 90% let off. Overall, it feels really good, and just a solid back wall with that 90% cable stop. And then the after shot on this bow, hand shock is minimal to none, which has pretty much been standard the last few years. Still got a great feel. Grip very similar to that other model. It's the same riser throughout, so you can be able to switch those things up and shoot that thinner grip or rubberized grip in this one. So let's step over and grab the S2, and we'll move on and show you what those numbers put up. All right, so we've grabbed the S2 Cam. Now, this S2 Cam is a short draw cam and does max out at 29 inches, which is where we test everything anyway. So we're just going to shoot this cam on the top end of things at 70 pounds, still on 90% let off, and shooting it through the range of arrows and starting with that 400 grain arrow. So let's see what this S2 Cam puts up. All right, so the S2 Cam puts up 314, just a couple feet per second faster than the E2 Cam. Not a lot, but it is designed to be a little bit more efficient, being a small draw cam. And topping out at 29, you're getting the peak efficiency out of this cam. So that's why you're going to see a little better speeds out of it, even against the other models. So when we put a 350 grain arrow in it, we got 332 feet per second, which is basically the same as the E2 Cam. We didn't lose the efficiency at a 400 grain arrow at 314, and then it kept a little faster at a 450 grain arrow. It was at 300 feet per second. And then when we bumped it all the way to a 500 grain arrow, it was still holding 285 feet per second. So it's holding the efficiency through that draw curve, and as you gain weight, you're not losing as much speed. So if you're the guy that's looking for a short draw, you want to get the most out of a cam, you may want to look at this S2 Cam. If you don't have a longer draw length, you may get better performance out of this model putting an S2 Cam on it. Now from there, the decibel readings, it's going to be 96.6, a little bit louder than the other two, but that's subjective. It's really close and not very much difference there at all. So overall, the bows are very similar from cam to cam. What we noticed is that E2 Cam and the S2 Cam are much more aggressive than the EC Cam. It's not a terrible feeling cam, but it's not as smooth as a draw cycle as the Evolve Cam has been over the years. And like we said, it's designed to be that way. They wanted to get more efficiency, more speed, keeping that peak weight longer, and that's exactly what they did, and it just gave it a little more aggressive feel through the draw curve on these bows. But again, deadness in the hand, all that's going to be the same. The grip, the feel, the overall shot of this bow is still fantastic. So if the XF30 is something that you're looking for from PSE for this year, give us a call at Mike's Archery and we'll get you fitted the one that works for you.